This video is to review the mentor requirements and responsibilities within the Kenosha Unified School District. We'll be spending some time reviewing the new educator support system, kind of a broad overview of all of the different supports new educators receive and how mentoring fits into that support system. We'll also look at the mentor responsibilities, including those three major components: the site orientation, ongoing check-ins, and the classroom visit day. We'll review documentation requirements for mentors to ensure that they receive their stipend. And then we will look at the support and resources available for mentors. So starting to look at the new educator support system, I'd like to look at this kind of as a target with different layers. So our first layer really addresses general new educator needs. So these would be topics that are relevant to all new educators, and they're going to be typically very broad and not address specific needs that the educators have, but just general ideas. And these will be addressed at new educator orientation before the start of the school year. And then there will also be ongoing support cohorts, and that's going to be broken down into two parts. However, one aspect of those ongoing support cohorts is that they would focus on a Danielson component aligned topic that all new educators would find relevance with. And then going into the next layer, they would start breaking it down into more specific needs around their content or specialty area. So the cohorts are basically about 10 or so new educators would be in a cohort, and they would be grouped based on job-alike roles. So maybe it's a high school math teachers are together, maybe grades 3 through 5 are together, grades 6 through 8, but they would be grouped together based on their position. And then the cohort leader would focus on topics and issues that would specifically meet the needs within that cohort group. Then finally, we get down to the individual needs, and that's where mentoring comes in. So mentoring is intended to support individual needs to a very high degree. So this is really working one-on-one with that new educator, finding out what their areas of strength are, areas of growth, and how do you best support them in really meeting the everyday needs they have with their kids within their own context. So looking at the mentor responsibilities, we have three major areas. So first we have the site orientation with the new educator. Site orientation occurs the week prior to instructional staff returning. So there's like a welcome back week for all instructional staff. The last week of August or so. Orientation happens the week before. So mentors are expected to work about 4 hours with their new educator, and we'll talk a little bit more in detail about that in upcoming slides. Then you have really the meat of the work that the mentor does with the new educator, and these are the ongoing check-ins. So these are regularly scheduled meeting times throughout the year. One important thing to point out is that these are outside of the regular school day to ensure that they are talking about things that are pertinent to the new educator's needs. Oftentimes, mentors and new educators are already on the same PLC team or grade level team, so they have common meeting or prep times. However, we want to ensure that the time that the two meet together is really focused on specifically what the new educator needs at that moment and not some other PLC team need or school need or grade level need. And then finally, the other major area would be the classroom visit day facilitation and or participation. And we say both pieces because some mentors, depending on their role, may not be able to actually participate in the classroom visit day, but then they would be responsible for actually setting up and facilitating that classroom visit day with their new educator. To recap all of the responsibilities of the mentor, we have this put in this table with the breakdown of how the stipend works and where that all comes into play. So the mentor would meet with the new educator during the orientation week, so about 4 hours, and you'll see the amount that's listed there. Another outside time would be an hour of planning for the classroom visit day, because it'll take some time to really figure out and schedule how that all looks. And then there'll be a total of 17 hours throughout the year for the ongoing check-ins, with the total number of hours, if you add that all up, 22 hours bringing that to a total of $411.84. And the hourly rate is that $18.72 an hour teacher extra hourly rate.